Well, GC Performance basically just did a walk around on a $15,000 SL7 Sworks, top of the range, ultimate bike you can get from Sworks. And it had a price tag or a ticket tag of 15,000 USD. Now my video today is really, are these bikes from these mass-produced manufacturers really worth $15,000? And I'm not picking on Specialized because Cavallo, Bianchi, a lot of other brands have these sorts of ticketed price tags on their top of the range bike. So are they really worth it? So let's roll intro and let's have a bit of discussion about what can you get for your $15,000. Now $15,000 for a push bike is a hell of a lot of money, and really these are mass-produced bikes. These are not something that is really unique. It's not something I would call like a hyper bike or a super bike. I would call these like a hot hatch. If you wanted to compare them to from a bicycle to a car, I would make it equivalent as a hot hatch. And some of these hot hatches are pretty powerful and pretty fast and perform pretty well. But what it is it's a standard model that's kind of been beefed up, and it's not something that you would equate with something like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Patini or a Bugatti or even a Lotus, which is what I've got. I've got a Lotus. These are hand-built cars. These are cars that have a lot of compromises, but when it comes to performance, they are the ultimate vehicle. Now, what then is the Ferrari? If these bikes from these mass production bikes are not Ferraris, what is a Ferrari then in the bicycle industry? Well, I would argue that these sorts of bikes are boutique bikes. Now, one that I'm very familiar with in Australia is called Bastion Cycles. And when you go to them, right, you want to buy a bike, and you could probably get yourself into a bike very similar. You might need to pay a little bit more, but I would say not that much more. And you get a completely customized bike to you. Not only can you have any geometry you want from any bike, but you can have what seat you want, what seat post you want, if that's a negative or a full setback. You can have the handlebars you want. They will build that, custom build that to any way you want. And not only that, you can have whatever paint job you like. You can have tints, you can have solids, you can have this combination, that combination. You can go and look at any bike and you can basically have the same paint job or modify it or any colour you like. Whilst with the mainstream manufacturers, usually you're limited to the colours of that year release. You can't get any specialised colours. So the bike is more rare, like a Ferrari or a Bugatti or a Lamborghini. It's much more rare than your hot hatch, and it's also been dialed in for you. Now, let's just say I was going to get myself a Ferrari or something like that. I can, and I'm going to track it, I want it for the ultimate performance, I can have the seats made to fit me. I can go to those companies and they're handmade. I can get them to make things that suit me. Okay, yes, it's at a price, but these cars are the ultimate driver's cars. And what we want is the ultimate riding bike. And if you go to someone like Bastion Bikes, or I imagine other boutique bike manufacturers would do the same, they make these bikes basically custom to you. They are unique. They have a paint job that's unique, whatever you want. And also, these bikes, you have the group set and everything on them. So not only are they got all of the equipment on that you would expect from a top-end Bianchi, Specialized, or any of these other brands, you can actually change out the stuff. You can have whatever wheels you want on it. You can have your handlebars, all that stuff. And it absolutely is the ultimate bike for you. Now, this is what I would class as a hyper bike or a super bike. And what do you guys think? Do you think that these manufacturers for their hot hatch, as we want to call it, are really worth their money? Or do you think that really they're starting to really creep into that boutique bicycle market where you can get a bike that's absolutely unique and absolutely fits you? Well, leave your comments down below, guys, and Let me know what you think about the comparison between boutique bikes and these mass-produced bikes, and do you think these mass-produced bikes are really worth this money, because they're really in the same ballpark now as these high-end boutique manufacturers. Well, that's where I'm going to leave it, guys, and I'll see you next vid.